It's the best of bias. You need the earful, you should try us. From pop culture to the movies to Unitas. It's the best of bias. Your best of bias. Yeah, it's the best of bias.
You are now listening to the Best of Bias Podcast with Lydell Dinero and Hugo Twilight.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Lydell Dinero, and it's time for another Best of Bias podcast. You know who's in the building. Look right over there, and you'll see him. It's that boy, a.k.a. And you got your boy Lydell Dinero here, as always. And we back for another pop culture episode. We just going to kick this shit, you know what I'm saying? How we usually do it. Just throw topics back and forth and just see how we feel about that, you know, from the past couple of weeks, especially this week. We've got a lot of exciting stuff happening this week, some stuff that happened last weekend. So buckle up. It's time for a new Best of Bias podcast. So Ariel, a.k.a., are you ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling drained, but I'm here.
Feeling drained, man. Hope you're doing good, well with that fasting. I know it's hard. I kind of do the same thing, but I actually eat. At the end of the day, you doing a whole 90.
I'm only doing it for like 3 to 4 days, depending on how I feel about it. By the end of the third day, yeah.
Well, you can't. You die if you don't eat food, though. So you I've done it for more than 7 days. I mean, I don't think it's the best more
thing
than
to do,
7 days.
Doing it just off. Yeah. Well, 7 days is the max.
Damn.
Yeah.
What?
I don't think it's that bad when you're fat like me, because fat is actual energy, it's stored energy, and I mean I don't think naturally humans are supposed to be eating carbs all day anyways.
I feel that.
Yeah, I think that's like a more like past couple hundred years. Before that, motherfuckers ate when they could. You know what I'm saying? So
I feel that. But first and foremost, before we get into some of these pop culture topics, I want to shout out my boy, Nikola Jokic, winning 2021's MVP. Thank you. I'm not going to take all the credit, but I got the nugget. But my boy worked hard this year. I wanted to get that shout out. We'll talk more in depth on it in the sports episode, but it was announced today. Jokic won MVP. Well-deserved, man. First number 2 overall pick. First second-round pick ever to win the MVP. First Denver Nugget to ever win the MVP. First Serbian ever to win the MVP. So it's a lot of firsts going around right now. Congratulations, Nikola Jokic. We'll talk more about it in the sports episode. But first, let's get into some pop culture, huh? So let's talk about this Loki. Loki's coming out Disney Plus tomorrow. Are you excited or what? What are you expecting?
Yeah. I'm watching that shit tonight. You know, they always drop them at like midnight and shit like that. I'm waiting for that.
Yeah. Because,
I mean, this is a long-ass break between Falcon and Winter Soldier. So it's like I've been fucking with that, the Bad Batch, and it's hit or miss. Like the episodes sometimes are okay, and sometimes they're not. So it's it's okay. So like the last episode was cool. I liked it, but especially because they brought in those girls from the end of season 7, the Clone Wars, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not really keeping me on that Marvel tip like it's supposed to. It's not keeping me tuned in. Like it's making me question having Disney Plus again, like always. When they don't on there, because Disney Plus it has a lot of shit on there, but shit that I don't really care to watch. So
right,
I find myself watching a bunch of Star Wars shit again, or watching old Marvel movies, and that's it.
Right. I watch a lot of The Incredibles, old Pixar stuff to kind of go to bed. But Loki coming out now, man, I'm excited. They put it on Wednesdays instead of Fridays, so we ain't got to wait all week. We get there right in the middle of the week. They're trying to say Wednesdays is the new Friday. Hopefully they don't pull no stupid-ass Loki tricks on us to be like, haha, just kidding. It's going to actually come out on Friday. Fuck y'all.
Yeah, they might do some crazy shit like that.
I don't want to jinx it, so I'm gonna knock on wood now just in case it does happen. But yeah, I'm excited to see what happens, because I mean he did get the what was it called, the Tesseract in Endgame, dipped up out of there, and this is gonna be cool. Owen Wilson's in this. A lot of people are in this. How long do you think the first episode is gonna be?
I mean, knowing the way they do shit, it's probably gonna be like 40-something minutes. Nothing crazy. But I don't know. I just like the idea of the fact that it's opening up the multiverse. So, you know, you have the potential for having other versions of characters and other characters that are only in other universes and shit. So,
I feel that.
you know, yeah, they could do, and they can also do some like maybe if they want to take some of them comics that aren't really related to the MCU because they're in a different universe and just have them like standalones, like the fucking zombie one. That would be dope
Yeah.
as fuck.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
You know,
Yeah.
so
I think they are
they
gonna
can do.
jump between because they're supposed to be like the time police or some shit. So they're gonna jump
Yeah.
back and forth between realities. Probably he's gonna have to stop versions of himself from doing shit. I think he's gonna do that. He's gonna have to correct the time stream because he fucked it up so much doing what he did. So I think that's kind of the
Yeah.
premise of what we're gonna see, and I'm kind of excited to see it because we have, it has been a while since we actually saw something within this MCU, within fucking anything on Disney Plus, really, since Mandalorian, anything really popping. They give us these.
I mean, what you call was popping? The Falcon Winter Soldier and
Oh yeah, my
WandaVision,
bad, my bad. It hasn't been that long. Sorry, I'm tripping. Shit, I'm forgetting. Oh, that's stupid. But yeah, I mean, yeah, this next shit's gonna be epic. We've been waiting for Loki to pop back up in here. Shit. I don't even know. Are you expecting any cameos? I heard we might get a Captain America cameo on this.
I mean, I would hope so. That would be dope if they do because I mean, it's first of all they're talking about time and they're talking about him jumping through different like alternate universes and shit. So I'm hoping that Loki was a jackass and maybe we'll get like a Thor, you know, or some shit like that, or you know, maybe like some characters that have passed away after Endgame that you know we can get to see again, just you know, reenacting their role for a little while. It'd be pretty nice, you know.
I feel that.
And then I'm hoping that maybe some Doctor Strange in there because you know we don't get to see Doctor Strange that much.
Yeah, I think that movie comes out to when we dropped all the dates back in a couple episodes ago, but I don't think it comes out to maybe late 2021, maybe even 2022.
Yeah, but that shit's still not set in stone because they're constantly moving shit around anyways. Like I don't know. I'm hoping that before my fucking ass get old and pass the fuck away, they'll come out with fucking the mutants and X-Men in the MCU. I'm hoping that happens before it either fucks it up or something goes wrong because I've been waiting for that more than like I like the Avengers and all that shit, but I've always been an X-Men fan more than anything. And to be honest, the movies are fucking trash. Even though I like Wolverine's character, like only real Wolverine movie that I actually liked was Old Man Logan. You know, that was the only one that I actually.
That was pretty cool. And it was
like
one of the rated R ones, the only one that was rated R.
Yeah.
But yeah, save that Wolverine talk because we have an extra special spoiler alert right there. Special X-Men topic here at the end of the episode. So we want everybody's kind of involvement there. So get your family, get everybody together for this final topic because it's gonna be a one for debate. It's a one for a good debate and one that we all need to as a community of Marvel to come together and come to a consensus on who this needs to be. But anyway, speaking, actually, let me mention this first. So after Loki,
I was gonna say what would be an epic ass cameo in Loki would be Deadpool. That's all I'd say.
Oh yeah, for sure, because he's supposed to be coming into the MCU too. So what a better way to do that. Yeah, man. But yeah, after Loki is done, I feel like everything's gonna get kickstarted because then Black Widow's gonna drop, and then you got a couple of things. Eternals is gonna come out soon thereafter, so it's gonna get kickstarted again. So you'll have something to talk about. You know what I mean? So it won't completely go away.
I think I heard they're working on the Moon Knight series, so that's gonna be fucking epic. Cause I mean, I don't know a shit ton about Moon Knight, but I read a little bit about him. Apparently, that motherfucker epic as shit. He crazy, but he like as far as like get down, he got skills. I read
a bunch of books of Moon Knight. I really like him. He's like a fucking Batman kind of character, but he's fucking hella super strong and has, you know, I talked about it on an episode before, but he has like the power of this god named Khonshu gave him hella powers.
Yeah.
And he has split personalities, so his comic books are like out of the eyes of hella different people that he thinks he is at certain points. It's just crazy.
Yeah, but I was reading that even before he got the powers, he was a badass before that. Like he could throw down, and he also got hella money like Batman.
Depending on what personality he was.
That's true. But I was watching his main personality before he started going to split personalities. He was a good ass fighter before then, like a Batman level fighter, like you know. But then when I was watching something and they were talking about how in that Superman versus Batman, whatever it was, when Batman was like putting that like burn mark on people with the bat, they're kind of copying Moon Knight because Moon Knight does that shit. All he carves like a moon symbol into.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're kind of copying that on that with Batman.
Yeah, Moon Knight's fucking epic. So yeah, She-Hulk's gonna come out. She-Hulk, excuse me, is gonna come out. So there's a lot of shit. They have like shit coming. They just want to get everybody back in the movie theaters and making the most money they can. So, and speaking of movie theaters, I've been to the movies pretty recently. How about you? No?
I don't do shit. I'm a fucking hermit.
I went to the movies to see Spiral with Chris Rock. When that dropped, I went to go see that. Me and Veronica.
What is that?
It's the new Saw movie with Chris Rock in it.
Oh, okay. Was that any good?
It was cool, but it was
not really a Saw person, but
it wasn't really like, it was the common kind of fucking gory as fuck type shit. But I think the storyline could have used some work. It was hella predictable. I knew who was what and what was happening at the beginning already from, we review a lot of movies, review a lot of shows. So we kind of know for the cues and shit from this kind of movie shit. But I just knew it was so predictable. Samuel Jackson's in it. I feel like for no reason. You know what I mean? It's like they put a super cast together for, I don't know. I feel like they needed better writers. They kind of kept it in the kind of like Saw kind of like realm, but I think they should have went somewhere else with it. But I feel like they're going to continue to do it now because just because the new plot that they made up. The ending was a kind of twist ending. So if that intrigues you, go ahead and watch it. But I feel like you support the black man. So go see it because Chris Rock.
I'll try to, yeah.
But I'm just saying if you don't, I wouldn't be mad at you. So you can just,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know. I was like, I just watched that movie Tenet with Denzel Washington's son.
Yeah.
And I watched it simply because he was in it. It was a good movie, but I'm confused as fuck.
Yeah, bro. I've seen that a couple times. Yeah.
That shit's confusing as fuck.
Yes.
I don't know. I was like, that shit made Inception look like a fucking Dr. Seuss book. It was so basic.
Especially towards the end. It was like, what the fuck?
That whole fight, that shit was confusing as fuck.
And the fact that some people are going forward, some people are going backwards, but if you got shot going forward while people going backwards, you would die. I don't know.
Yeah.
The bullets were twice as fucking deadly. That movie
going backwards, yeah.
Shit was nuts. M. Night Shyamalan, is that who it was?
Was that who made that? I don't know.
No,
it wasn't a bad.
It wasn't M. Night Shyamalan. It was somebody else. It was fucking James Cameron.
I don't remember. I didn't pay attention to it.
Fuck, I don't know who the director was, but
I wasn't looking at the credits. I was too confused trying to figure out what the fuck I just watched. But, man, the action was good.
Yeah,
the action was good. It was just
Denzel's son. What's his David Washington did hella good. I like and the reveal at the end was dope too. But shit, I mean, I think that was kind of predictable too. Well, I don't know. Maybe after seeing it the second.
I wasn't. I'm pretty good at that shit, and I think they got me just because I was spending too much mind power trying to figure out what was going on in the actual story. So I wasn't really thinking about the end or how it was going to end. I was just like, what the fuck? Like the part where when they were fighting against those guys that came out of that room and like they both looked like the same dude. They were like, and one of them, like, he pulled his mask off and he let him go. Like I knew as soon as they came out, I was like, okay, this is probably them. And this is either both of them or one of them. I knew it was, and then like. Of course, that proved to be right. But other than that, I didn't know shit else that was going on in the movie. That was probably the only thing I can actually hold on to. Like, yeah, I got that. That's it, though.
Yeah, and the whole objective of what the bad guy was doing was just fucking weird. He had cancer and was going to die, so he tried to kill everybody.
Yeah, he was like the epitome of a mass shooter who just fucking hates the world and wants to take everybody out with him type of shit.
That's just nuts. But speaking of the movies, man, did you hear about, I asked you the question about you going to the movies because AMC is making a comeback, man. I don't know if it's the stock market trying to short AMC as an entity and try to, take it for all its money, try to trick people into putting their money in. But I feel like Reddit again took a hold of the users and it skyrocketed from $9 a share to $60 a share, like over like 4 days.
God damn.
You know what I mean? So now, I mean, they're making a comeback. We kind of always knew movies would make a comeback, especially with some of these Marvel movies coming back.
So question. Because I still was, I stopped reading on stocks a while back. If you already had stocks in AMC or wherever it was, what was it you said it was again? The AMC?
Yeah.
If you already had stocks in that shit and it skyrocketed up from 4 days, could you sell your shit immediately and just get that profit?
That's usually what people do. People with a lot of money do that. Because
I would
if
have
you
did
put a
that
bunch
shit.
of money in, like especially Charlamagne the God even mentioned this on his podcast. He had like $10,000. He was at $9 a share. Put $10,000 in, skyrocketed to 60, sold, and he's pocketed the money that he made. And
That's
now
what I
he's
would
going to
did.
invest in other shit with the money that he made off that real quick
You
flip.
gotta make sure you save the taxes part because the IRS will come after you ask for their money.
Yeah, I feel it. But shit, I was thinking about it too, but I didn't know if they're gonna make a big comeback. I should have known though, with everything that's going on, especially like I guess the first movie that brought people back to movie theaters were King Kong versus Godzilla.
Yeah,
I think it did
I like
like
that one, even though it had shit ton of plot holes. I mean, I can see that one's been a
yeah,
great one to see in theaters. Yeah.
right. So people started coming back, and a lot of these scary movies people are seeing in theaters now. Quiet Place 2, or Quiet Place 2 came out in
I
theaters.
never even watched the first one.
It's pretty good, pretty good. Conjuring, people are going back to the movie theaters. So, I mean, it's smart if you jumped in it now. I mean, jumped in it then when it was so low and got your money, made some money. Good thing on you, man. I'm just now getting to the investing whole deal. So I'm trying to learn. Sometimes if you have the money to spare and you find out or do some research on a play, you have accountants or whatever that research a play like that for you, can flip your money for you. Put your money
Yeah.
into assets that can make you some money. Stop buying all this material shit that ain't gonna make you no money. It's gonna decrease in value. Look into
As soon as you buy it, it depreciates. Yeah.
exactly. So look into some stuff that's gonna make you money. Especially look at these companies. Look at the next. Try to find the next Tesla. Try to find the next Nike. Try to find the next Steve
Coca-Cola. What are you talking about?
Exactly. Any of that shit. People are working out of the garage to try to get their shit funded to be the next great thing. So just look. I mean, some people might think it's like giving your money away. It's not an instant gratification like gambling, but it's it's the gratification of having money on the side there and watching it grow. And when you need the money in the future, maybe your portfolio will be hella fucking worth hella money. And then it'll be beneficial to you for your kids' college, for something you need down the road, for your mortgage, for anything, vacation you want to go on. Having that there is good. The money's just going to, spare $20, $30. Find a business that you think is going to skyrocket. It may be 20 cents a share. You put $10 in that business over a year, maybe that business is worth $1 a share. All that money you put into that business, skyrocket. And you didn't even know because you just put that little $10 aside each little paycheck.
Message!
That save your money. Either way you want to do it, I'm just saying it's a little way there. I'm learning about it. Let's all learn together. Best of Bias family. But next topic here: Kwame Brown versus All the Smoke. Charlamagne the God, DJ Envy, Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless, everybody. Man, did you hear about this?
Yeah, shit was hilarious.
Kwame Brown.
I mean, I mostly watched his stuff. I didn't really watch. Like I seen the donkey of the day that did, and then him apologizing. But I mostly was just listening to like the Kwame Brown shit. I saw some of the back and forth shit. When it comes up on whatever I'm looking at. But Kwame Brown to me is just more entertaining to listen to him because he just seems like more of a real person. It's like he's doing shit for like anything other than like just being him. But I don't know.
I feel that. But I feel like Charlamagne the God, his halfway apology. First of all, let me get into who Kwame Brown actually is. Kwame Brown, he was the number 1 overall pick. I forgot what year it was. I'm not getting into the specifics. But he went to the Washington Wizards back when Michael Jordan was like just basically beginning to own the Washington Wizards. I think he might have even been a player kind of owner at the time.
I think he was a player owner, yeah.
Yeah, so basically, Kwame Brown was saying once he got drafted there to the Wizards, they actually just drafted him as a trade chip. They didn't really want him on the team. They tried to make a trade for him with Elton Brand, and they figured that if they got the number 1 overall pick young player, that they could trade him for Elton Brand. And when the trade didn't go through, they treated Kwame Brown like shit, they said.
That's fucked
They,
up.
they said they kicked him when he was down. They never gave him any playing time. they used to have players come in, or Michael Jordan used to have players come in just to beat them up at practice, like beat them down at practice, not beat them up like physically with fists, but like
Yeah.
go hard at them at practice just to get them physically weak and not even want to play anymore. And these guys, Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless, pretty much sports media pundits kind of use Kwame Brown as like a joke as far as being a bust or whatever, not producing like being an number one overall pick. And, just people clowning on him. And I guess now he's just kind of got over being that guy that everybody compared to being basically the Jamarcus Russell of the NBA, a player that had high expectations, but jokingly never panned out. And, people are making a bunch of money and being noticed. And if you have any kind of slight fame or any stories to tell, people are down to listen now on social media. So he's telling all, and he's getting back at the people that are labeling him a bum, embarrassing him and his family for all these years. So, yeah. You want to kind of expound on what you know about the situation, about who he was talking about?
I mean, I just know that he apparently he was going after I can't remember those dudes' name again. The two dudes who got the other podcast, they're both ex-basketball players or whatever. And
Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes from All the Smoke.
Matt Barnes, yeah, and he was going ham on them, and calling them out, talking about how was it Matt Barnes' family and shit like that, and how was it Doc or whoever it is with his family? Who the fuck is it again? Is with his ex-wife?
Derek Fisher.
Derek Fisher, there we go.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, the shit was funny to me, but I mean, the thing I didn't like was when I heard about Charlemagne putting his 2 cents in and going after this dude's family and how his brother was a murderer and shit like that, and then he explained how that had nothing to do with him first and foremost, and he's like, my brother is free and not locked up at all. So it was like basically saying that the people you're talking about are people I don't really associate with like that and has nothing to do with me. And not to mention you're bringing up old wounds for people from that area, because I guess they were from the same area or something like that, right?
Yeah, like South Carolina.
Yeah, something like that, one of them places. And then Charlemagne did like a weird little apology and shit. But I mean, I really didn't.
I listen to Charlemagne the Guy every week on his podcast, or actually 2 podcasts, because I listen to the Breakfast Club podcast and the Brilliant Idiots without Andrew Schultz. And I don't know if he full-heartedly meant that apology. He gave himself the other day jokingly, and I think he was sincere, because I think he did call people in the family and was like they were hurt by it, and he apologized, to them. I think that was sincere. But I just think Kwame Brown, when he attacked back, he went a little deep with all of them.
He did. Like he brought up some shit about Charlemagne's the rape case, and I didn't even know about that shit. And then I went and watched the video about that, and I was like, God damn, like I didn't know that happened, and how he was able to keep that shit brushed under a rug, because that was like pretty bad. If what the girl was saying was true, saying she was only 15 years old at the time, and he gave her some shit that made her pass out and let his friends, fucking rape her in a room and shit, that's pretty fucking foul.
Right.
I don't know how that motherfucker got away with that, but if it's true, that's
I don't think. I
shit.
mean, I heard he talked a lot about it last year on his podcast, and how he went to court and shit for it, and he got proven not guilty for it or some shit like that. But somebody did bring it up and try to call him out on it last year. I don't know, it was some social media guy. He just kind of tried to bring it up, so he was actually talked about it for like an hour, maybe 2 hours on his podcast. So people did know about it. He talked prominently about all his shit. He talks openly about all his shit now on podcasts and shit. About how he used to beat on his wife and shit like that for like 5 years, and he's been like, and he's been.
But that's why I couldn't take what she said. I mean, I took it serious, but I couldn't tell if I can't sit there and be like, point the finger and say because I don't like. It's always 2 sides to every story. Right. But the one thing that I didn't like was the fact that she was 15 and supposedly this happened to her. And I'm like, what are you doing as a grown ass man hanging out with a little 15-year-old at your house, anyways? But at the same time, I don't know what kind of girl she was, but I know that shit, a lot of young girls is fast as fuck, and they have no problem with lying about their age and shit.
Right,
So
exactly.
people gonna probably say that I'm like blaming the victim. I'm not. I'm just giving a scenario that could
Right.
be. I don't know
Yeah,
what actually
exactly.
happened. You know.
Right. By
So,
the, so all this shit is alleged, I guess, since he,
exactly.
what I'm saying? I don't know anything about it, but I think me personally, I feel like Charlamagne is pretty open about everything with his fans. I mean, he has two books
Yeah,
that
I
he's
like
done.
them. I still watch the. I don't watch the Breakfast Club. To me, it's I don't know. It's kind of corny. I don't think I don't really fuck with DJ Envy and Angela Yee that much. They kind of, I don't know, annoying to me. They seem fake, but Charlamagne seems more real.
Right.
And I like Brilliant Idiots. I think that's pretty good. So
That shit is funny as hell. I listen to him and Andrew Schultz on both his podcasts on Flagrant 2 as well. It's just, yeah, man. And also on Breakfast Club, I don't really listen to the interviews that much. They have like segments as a
yeah.
podcast where they just have the callers call in the morning. Then they have the news the topics of the day pretty much. And then they kind of go in. So they cut off all the radio parts. And then
Mm,
they cut off the interviews and put them at the end. Like they previously recorded and then play it at the end. So sometimes all
okay.
of them are not even in the interviews. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And so, yeah, the interviews aren't really the prominent parts that I listen to anymore. But, yeah, anyways, yeah, Kwame Brown went at him pretty tough trying to bring up the accusations. He even went out DJ Envy for a while. Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless, I think, he's on, Fox Sports 1 now. He's gotten pretty famous from making fun of people and kind of being, talking shit about the best people that are pretty much the best at best at sports or really good coming up at sports. He
Mm,
hates on them on purpose. I feel like as a character he puts on for his fame. So Kwame Brown kind of attacked him. He's hella annoying in
mm.
the shit that he says. He's like 70 years old. So at this point, this guy has put on a character and he's staying in this character and he is the way he is. And I feel
Yeah.
like it's not personal. It's just how he makes his money. It's how he makes his
Yeah,
money.
yeah, I feel that, but at the same time, it's like you can't expect people like how I put this. A lot of radio personalities, people who are in the media and shit, feel like they can say whatever they want to, and if somebody comes and tries to, question them and or like retaliate against them, they feel like that person doesn't have the right because of my job. It's kind of like, well, this is my job, And it's like, yeah,
No,
well,
there's better ways to go about it. I feel like you can have
I'm
intimate.
not saying I'm not saying like physically. I'm saying like when they come back and retaliate, even verbally. It's like a lot of
No,
people feel
yeah.
like, oh, I shouldn't be retaliated on because this is my job, and it's like, no, I mean, regardless of what it is, you're getting paid for it at my benefit, So
Right, yeah, I feel that as well. It's just that some of these guys don't know how to respond in the verbal warfare that's appropriate for TV sometimes.
oh,
They can
100%.
they can get on TV and sit on that interview show and go at Skip Bayless on some real facts type shit without getting angry, without getting aggressive, and just being cool, calm, and collected in your seat and being like another co-host on the show. There'll be no problems, and people will see you on
See,
TV like you're putting
yeah,
this guy in his place.
but that's the problem is the reason why there's people like Skip Bailey or Stephen A. Smith is because there are not many people who have that kind of a like vernacular skill. They can't execute that like that.
I
That's
feel
why
it.
there's people who are in those positions because you got to be good at that shit.
Not
So
necessarily. They just fucking talk shit. They just yell and fucking
they
scream.
do, but they still,
Just
if it comes to a debate, they're able to coordinate a very good response. And then
right.
other people who can't will then react with emotion. So
But it can be emotion without just being, I guess, and people's interview skills aren't really up to par. And you're on TV, so you might be
exactly.
nervous. I get all that, but it's like, sheesh, record something, put out a video, and they'll
That's what
respond.
they can do, or
Exactly.
text or whatever that shit is they do now, tweet or
Yeah,
something.
exactly. It's just don't go at them with the motherfucker you, motherfucker that, you pale son of a bitch,
Yeah,
Dracula
yeah.
skin type looking like his
Is that what he
thing.
did? I didn't see that
Yeah,
one.
yeah. He
But
was
you know
like,
what? That sounds like what he would do, though.
yeah,
From what I've heard so far, that sounds like that's like his character. That's who he is.
exactly. His videos be so funny because that's how he be saying shit.
They are hella funny.
You motherfucker. You say you raggedy little bitch. and he'll start his videos like this.
I've seen a couple of them. I haven't watched a bunch of them. I've seen a couple of them, and they were entertaining to me. That shit was funny as fuck.
Yeah, once he gets started and starts talking, it's funny as hell. It's just he just goes in. I guess it's been years. I get it. He's probably fed up with all this shit, but he's like, Skip Bayless, you pale little bitch, you pasty vampire looking. He just went in on Skip.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, you can just
It's kind of fucked up because you would, I guess, it's back in the day you could have been like, you could have just ignored that shit and let it go, but at the same time, with him being in the NBA, being famous in the past, and now with the internet being what it is, this is actually your legacy. Even though it's just the internet, when you got people like that coming out and saying shit, that's gonna be held on record. And now if
right.
you don't say anything in response, people are just gonna remember it as that. Like, oh yeah, this is that dude who, was a first round draft, didn't do shit in the NBA, and all the people basically verified that because he didn't say shit back.
Right,
So
I feel it.
at least now he added this to it. So when he's dead and gone, they somebody mentions his name or types him up to look for him, they can have all that and then have his rebuttals, which are fucking hilarious. So I don't know. I think it's probably the best he could do,
I feel that.
or at least the best he feels he can do. It's just hilarious, though. It is very fucking entertaining.
Yeah, it's very entertaining. It's like he be having 200,000, 500,000 followers on there watching, and he just be telling it all, man. Any secrets? He said, "I'm gonna tell some shit. I'm gonna tell the truth today." Just be getting all that shit out of there, man. And I'm glad, and maybe he can turn the podcast, get a podcast out of it. But he does want that smoke. Maybe he can get in the boxing ring with them and be the next celebrity boxing match.
Yeah.
Kwame Brown versus Steven Jackson, Stephen A. or Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless probably got hands though. He in shape for a 60-year-old. Next
Oh
topic.
yeah, I don't think he can fight though. He looks too awkward. Who knows?
Yeah, he is kind of awkward. So next topic, NBA fans. I don't know if you've been hearing about these NBA fans, but they've been acting nuts since they've been able to come back to these games in the playoffs, man. Speaking of playoffs, Denver Nuggets, let's go. Let's get it. Denver Nuggets in 6. I'm just kidding. I don't know. But knock on wood, please. But Jokic is the MVP. But anyways, the NBA fans have been acting crazy. One of the fans, like while they were I think they're in Philadelphia in the first round playoffs, one of the fans dropped popcorn on Russell Westbrook's head while he was walking to the tunnel after he got injured. He was walking to the tunnel and a fan dropped popcorn on his hand. He got hella mad and tried to fucking.
I would have too.
Fan. Yeah, he was hella mad, and it's like you can't be doing shit. And then I guess
what is security? Security grabbed that motherfucker and like kick his ass out. They should ban his ass from the playoffs.
Exactly, banned him for life. And then a player in New York, while Trae Young was there, first round playoffs, Atlanta was playing New York. Trae Young was like towards the out of bounds line, and a fan from out of bounds spit and almost spit on Trae Young from the sideline.
Yeah, right there. That could be jail time because this good Corona shit is still like lingering around.
Shit's nuts.
Fuck all that. Yeah, motherfuckers is disrespectful. That's crazy.
Right, and then as Kyrie Irving, he went back to Philly. It was Boston. He was on Boston before he was on Brooklyn, who he's on now. But he left with kind of like bitter endings with the Celtics fans because he kind of said he was going to stay, but then he ended up going to another team the next year with Kevin Durant and joined the super team, and they're probably going to win the finals. I'm not even going to lie. But yeah, so when he was at his last game in Boston, he kind of stepped on the middle leprechaun's head, kind of wiped his feet on it a little bit. And then as he was walking to the tunnel, somebody threw a water bottle down and almost hit him in the head with it. So the fans were acting nuts. So, and then to top it all off, a fan, I forgot at what game it was, but a fan ran out and tried to run onto the court. But
during the game?
During the game, he tried to run and touch the backboard, but the security guard tackled him before he got even close to, getting on the court. Clean ass leg tackle. But yeah, shit's been going crazy. Fans have been in the house for, I get it, a year and a half, hasn't been able to go support their favorite sports teams, but they're acting crazy. They're not really being held accountable for their actions. They think they can just do anything to the players, and since they're not allowed to react or respond to anything, they can just do whatever they want, and they're acting fucking crazy.
And motherfuckers are so used to being on the internet and reacting to on the internet, they forget that this shit's the real life. So
right, They don't want another Malice in the Palace. They don't want no players, no big ass LeBron going in there and punching a hole in somebody's chest. So they need to chill, relax, enjoy the game, enjoy being back. And once full capacity comes, if we can get to full capacity, if anybody doesn't fuck it up, we can enjoy each other and just be safe out there and just watch the playoffs, enjoy the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of teams left. If your team's left, be grateful for that and don't fuck it up for everybody. You know what I mean? And we'll leave it at that. Oh, yeah. Speaking of playoffs, this year, LeBron James and the Lakers were out in the first round. I don't know if you heard.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the first year in 14 years LeBron James has been taken out in the first round. How do you feel about that? Do you think that hurts his legacy at all?
I'm not really big on basketball, but to me, no, I don't think so. I mean, I feel like he's been like as many times as he's been inside of there. It's like you can't hurt that man's legacy. He's been in the playoffs nonstop for how long? So it's
Played
like
more playoff minutes
damn
than
near
any
not.
basketball player.
Yeah, you can't for people to try and say that you know, oh, he's not better than Jordan. Which I mean, I don't really know. I mean, I was around. I was around when Jordan was around, but I'd never been a big basketball fan.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a whole different sport back then anyways. That's like, football nowadays compared to football in the past. It's like you can't do half the shit you did in football, now that you did back then. Same with basketball. So it's like let that man live. He's clearly a fucking outstanding player. This motherfucker looks like he was born and built for basketball. I don't know who the fuck his dad is. I don't think he knows, but that motherfucker needs to go ahead and while he's still living, if he's still living, try and make some older motherfuckers or something. Make a
No,
whole
shit.
basketball team. Throw a
One
couple.
that's good at each sport,
Yeah, throw a UFC fighter in that motherfucker. Something
right?
because
Get
clearly
one that can
athletic.
swim, one can skateboard, one to play baseball, one to play basketball, one to play football.
Something.
Every sport in football,
Fucking high jump because the motherfuckers is tall as fuck too.
and have his kid marry another kid's athlete's kid to make.
Oh, now you that's some slave shit. That's that old slave fuck shit where they was like fucking breeding all the strongest males with like the most, the best working and attractive female slaves to get like the bucks, whatever they call them, shit like that. And
Sounds right.
Yeah.
All right, and also it's the first year in 10 years that Steph Curry or LeBron won't be in the finals. So it's gonna be something a little different this year. I'm excited to see what happens. Like I said, Denver Nuggets are still in the playoff run, still in the hopes of winning the championship, but it's looking ugly, man. They got a super team over there in Brooklyn with Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving, and Blake Griffin on the same team. It's getting it's getting kind of weird. People are putting these super teams together, and it seems like that's the way to win a championship.
That's how it's happening. Fucking the Warriors fucked it up everybody.
Yeah, exactly. So now nobody can organically. I guess they organically won. Well, they organically made a team until they got Kevin Durant. Then they fucked everything up. But now nobody can. It's the whoever can get more stars race. And small market teams are never gonna get a big star like that, so it's over for them either way.
That's pretty fucked up. Yeah,
it is very, very fucked up. So I kind of feel like it's whatever. Hopefully the organically grown team comes back. Hopefully they put a cap on how many superstars can actually be on one team at one point. I mean, I know it's kind of whack to say, oh, you stars can't be together, but at a certain point, it's like, okay, you put all these fucking great ass players together. It's no doubt they're gonna win the championship. People are gonna stop watching basketball. I don't know if they'll stop watching it, but it's just hella annoying. We want some fucking variety,
some competition.
Yeah, that shit's whack. So I'm happy this year is something a little different. Moving on in the sports world, we have Jake Paul versus Tyrone Woodley. What do you feel about that one? How do you feel about that announcement?
I truthfully don't think Jake Paul's that good of a fighter. He hasn't fought anybody or done anything that like really proves that he's a great fighter yet. But Tyrone Woodley, who once was a great fighter, I think he's like 39 or 40 now. And his last few fights, I should take that back. I think it was his last fight. He actually showed he was pretty good. He just went too damn ham and ended up getting caught. But we'll see what happens because he's been a striker. He's a good striker. He has power.
Right.
But at the same time, he's not the same fighter he used to be,
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I still think that with his ability, he's never been a boxer either. So, like, I mean, who knows? But with the amount of skill he had as a striker in the past, I feel like he may be able to do something. But at the same time, even though he's maybe trained in boxing, he's never trained for boxing before.
I feel it. We'll see. Floyd said he was going to train him, so hopefully.
If he goes over there and trains with the money team, he might have a way better chance because them motherfuckers they know what they're doing, 100%.
I kind of feel like he'll win too. If anything,
I feel like I feel like he'll win, yeah.
Yeah, if we saw anything in this last Floyd Mayweather fight, we know that they can flip any kind of loss into something to make it seem graceful. Logan
Yeah.
Paul, we'll talk about that fight in a little bit, but I feel like he lost and he flipped it into something like, oh, I never got this opportunity before, and the opportunity to do something like this was golden. And I'm trying to inspire those who never thought they have opportunity to do anything, to do this shit like that. But nigga, you got your ass popped a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He didn't knock you out, but you were still looking a little crazy in there with those punches. But yeah, I feel like that's kind of what's going to happen with Jake Paul. I feel like either Tyrone Woodley's going to get paid a big bag to take a dive, or we're going to see Tyrone Woodley either knock him out, hurt him really bad, or they go decision and try to get 3 fights out of it. One of the
I think Tyrone has too much pride to take a dive or something like that unless they offer him like some drastic amount of money.
Exactly.
Which is it's a possibility.
Exactly.
But,
that's what I'm saying. I'm not leaning that way, but it's not out of the realms of possibility.
But at the same time, I feel like when he loses his fights, the amount of depression you can see in his face like makes me feel like he's not willing to do that again.
Right, exactly. That's why I'm hoping he wins, man. I'm hoping he gets a win. I was hoping for him in his last couple of fights because we see Adesanya, Usman, everybody else winning out here. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to keep, trying to stay up on top, you feel me? But he had a couple shots too. I was surprised by how many shots they're actually giving him. But I think in this one that he'll give it a go and actually be able to do something. I guess we can kind of, unless you have some more to say about that.
Well, I was just gonna say that as far as I haven't really seen anything special from Jake, so I'm still leaning towards Tyrone, but I wouldn't be surprised only because he's just not the same fighter. But I'm rooting for him, and if I had to put money on it, I would definitely put money on Tyrone Woodley and not Jake because he hasn't fought anybody who I would say was good, a good fighter. He hasn't shown me like that. That would be like any fucking fighter. That's like me getting in the ring with somebody and you being like, okay, I know Oreo, big motherfucker, and no motherfucker scary, but I ain't never seen this nigga fight, get in there and get knocked the fuck out. And he's fought against who? Who has he fought against?
Right. And I feel like Tyrone Woodley gets hit with smaller gloves. He's gonna be harder to knock out.
So he's not gonna get knocked out. He's not about to get knocked out.
Right. So it's gonna be like you're fighting against somebody that's actually gonna be in shape. Like fucking Ben Askren or whatever his name came in there
and that was some bullshit too because he didn't even get knocked out and the ref just called it. It was like, why did you just call that? Like to me that was a poor ass stoppage, but
right. And Tyrone, he ain't going out like that. I saw him at some of the press conferences and shit. Jake Paul just going in there. He went in a full Mickey Mouse Gucci suit, trying to talk about, full Gucci, this and that, just trying to throw money around, trying to embarrass him about him losing his last 4 fights. I'm like, bro, this is a real fighter right here. If he
lost to top competitors,
Exactly, top niggas. He's been submitted in one. You're not gonna submit his ass.
You can't, and unless you break the rules.
Yeah, right, exactly. So that shit is not gonna fly for you. So I feel like this is gonna be the apex of Jake Paul's ability to get his fights watched. I feel like he'll still box, but I feel like he's gonna go more into the promotion side of it and get more celebrities to go in there and do some boxing or box lower level people because I think this is as high as he's gonna be able to go.
And unless Tyrone Woodley goes in there and just demolishes him, which is a possibility too,
right?
Because irregardless of what he's shown us in the past couple of years, like he's not that far. Even though he's lost, he's not what he used to be. I don't think he's that far gone from what he used to be. And sometimes it just takes the right motivation for you to say fuck it and go ahead and go ham again.
Exactly.
And he might go in there and just fucking eradicate him. And
he beats Jake. This is a Showtime event now. He signed. Jake Paul signed with Showtime. No more Thriller shit. So
Thriller,
yeah. So he's back with he's over there with Showtime. So Showtime could have hollered at Woodley and was like, okay, you go ahead, handle this work, beat him. We can get Woodley versus the next up and coming, some kind of retired celebrity star, and just keep it going that way. As long as Woodley can be a champion again that way. This is a second win for it.
Because all this is showing, which is I feel real bad for like real fighters, but it's showing that people don't care how good of a fighter you are, unless you're like a real top tier fighter and you fight against another top tier. But there's fighters out there who are it's more about the fame. Everything's about the fame. It's all about popularity. Whether somebody loves you or hates you, that's the whole thing. It's like you want to get somebody out there who's like somebody like Jake Paul, who is loved by a bunch of little kids and hated by the rest of the world, pretty much. I don't hate him or dislike him. I just don't give a fuck about him, to be honest.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
He seems annoying as fuck. His older brother doesn't seem half as annoying as him, But
I
it's
just don't.
like,
Sometimes I don't really like the facade and the trying to trick people. You know what I mean? I want it to be real. I mean, if you're gonna be a boxer and you say you're gonna be able to box, I want to see a real fight. I don't want to see somebody get paid to make it a show. I understand it needs to be entertainment, but really fight. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying he's not fighting, but go against somebody that can actually fight, not somebody out of shape. The promotion doesn't have to be on McGregor level where you have to go out and just make fun and disrespect people. You guys are
but
popular.
they're gonna do that because that's what makes money. That sells tickets. That sells,
But they're
pay-per-views.
fucking already super popular. It's just the stupid
They
shit
are.
they do sometimes it just gets out of pocket and you can
the-
see right through it.
but they know that by them just being on the card, they can get their already dedicated fans or haters. But if they want to
Exactly.
get more fans and more haters, they go out there and disrespect this person because now this person has other fans who wants to see that person beat their ass because they disrespected him. Otherwise, like I may see him fighting against somebody that I know and be like, oh, whatever. But if I see him talking shit about that person, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Nigga better beat that motherfucker's ass.
I
type shit,
completely
So,
agree, but make it real. Make it real. And don't let us see
I
right
feel
through
you.
it. Don't let us see right through it.
Yeah,
It's the shit. That's the shit I'm talking about. It's like
yeah.
how are you gonna try to make it seem like this shit is real when we know that you guys are just trying to promote the fight.
Yeah, that's all it is. People they do it because there's a lot of money in it and people are very easily manipulated and will pay for that shit. So
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I just really
as long as
I still think that I got your hat shit is fake to this day. I still think
yeah,
it
I
was.
mean it could be, but I just feel like knowing how Mayweather is, I don't see him going out with that fucked up ass haircut like that and letting that shit happen. Maybe like they said they probably agreed to do something stupid, but I don't think he was expecting that,
I feel it.
just because his reaction was too like visceral and whatnot. So
All
I
right.
don't know.
I feel
But
it. Let's just transition smoothly into the next fight. We can talk about a little bit of Logan Paul. Let's talk about his big bro fighting Mayweather. Some of the pre-fights, first of all, Ocho Cinco versus, I'm sorry, man, I don't really know your name. It's some bare knuckle fighter. They're
I
going
know
at
that.
it, but they started off just kind of talking about how dude was a big fan of Ocho Cinco, how he's one of his favorite receivers. And it was crazy because you can tell their coaches they were really training with for a long time. So I think
Mm.
one of Ocho Cinco's trainers was Masvidal.
Oh, really?
He was
Okay.
one of the guys in the corner, but they didn't really show him too often. But they said that he was over there, kind of like, because he's from Miami or Florida too. That's where Ocho Cinco's
Yeah.
from. So
Masvidal got hands too, so I can feel it.
right, but Ocho Cinco went in there. People were saying he did box when he worked out a lot, so he had some experience. He went in there looking like he had some experience. He had some good footwork. Had some good jabs in and out. Threw some good hooks. Was knocking dude. Getting some
Oh, he
hits
was
in there.
doing good before he got for the pop. Was he? I didn't
Yeah,
get to see it, like I told
he
you.
was doing really well. I think some of the matches. I think his match was only like 4 rounds, like four
Oh yeah.
3-minute rounds.
Okay, that's
So
about
it was
normal for like
it was super exhibition
beginners.
match.
Yeah.
But yeah,
No, I mean even like in real boxing, like when you first come in, sometimes they'll do rounds that are really short. They do fights that are short like that. They do short ass fights sometimes.
okay.
A
So
lot.
yeah, they did. I think they did 4 rounds. In the first three, Chad was giving it to him. And then the fourth round, it was kind of getting to the end. The bare knuckle guy's coach was like, man, you got to do something. He's knocking you up. You got to do something. You ain't doing nothing we showed you. And he was like, yeah, I got you. But I did get him once. And he was talking that shit. And then you can tell Ocho Cinco was feeling himself, was feeling hella confident. And they came out for that last round. It may have been, actually it was 6 rounds. It was 6 rounds, 6 3-minute rounds. And it was the 6th round they got out there. Chad got hit with a fucking super hook. He got hit in the jaw square with a crazy ass unorthodox hook. And he just fell, went down. And he got up real quick.
Got back up and was
And
like,
he tried to give him a handshake, kind of tap gloves with him, like good knockout. And dude was like, nah. Referee was like, nah, you got to go over there. I got to count you down real quick.
yeah.
And
It
that
was a knockdown.
right. Yeah, it was the last round. So all that work that Chad did kind of went to no avail because everybody remember him getting knocked down at the end. But Chad Ochocinco looked like he had a career in these exhibitions if he keeps training because he looked like he'd been training a lot. He did pretty well. The next fight I think was the one you're talking about. I think it was the Arias versus Hurd fight.
Yeah,
That shit was nuts. Arias was out there giving it to him. I guess Arias trained with the money team. Got kicked off.
Arias was giving it to him?
Yeah, Arias. It was going back and forth, but mostly it looked like Arias was doing more of the work, trying harder. He was going in, hitting him right off.
I didn't get to see that whole fight, but I thought Hurd won that fight.
Shit, nah.
The tall dark skinned one.
No, he didn't win. Arias won.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know
yeah.
that. Okay.
Yeah, at the beginning of the fight, he was working. So if you have a chance, you got to go back and watch that shit. Arias was off the bat, combos, hitting him with this right. Hurd never stopped the right. He got hit in the head over and over and over.
Mm-hmm.
Hurd would come with these uppercuts though, because he was clearly bigger than Arias. So when they were up close, fighting in a phone booth type shit, and Hurd was uppercutting dude, poof, 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 and then Arias would come back with the combos. You know what I'm saying? So they're going at it all. It was a 10. I think this one was 10 rounds because this one actually counted.
Well, they're both professional boxers. Like
right, exactly.
Hurd's been in a lot of big fights, and I think that's Swift. I think is his nickname.
Yeah,
but,
he got that on his chest.
He's more of an inside. Yeah, he's more of one of those inside fighters. He likes to get in, and which is weird because he has so much reach. You would think that him being that lanky, he would fight from the outside, but he always gets in and does a lot of inside fighting.
Yeah,
I couldn't really. I didn't get to see the fight because they kept fucking up.
Yeah, body, uppercut. But the Arias would come back and hit him with that right. But Hurd was eating it the whole fight. He would just eat it. It wouldn't hurt him.
He always fights like that.
It didn't hurt him at all. So it is going at it. You would see some of the uppercuts would start hurting Arias a little bit, but he would always get that burst of energy and come back with another combo, hit him with a right. But he would eat that shit every time and just kept walking him down. Arias would get him in the corner. And just kind of like rope-a-dope it, just take his power, take some of the uppercuts and just hit him with the combo, reverse it, and then Hurd to push him back into the middle. They would get close again, Hurd him with some uppercuts. It was going at it for 10 rounds. And then Arias ended up winning it.
I'm about to go back and watch it.
Yeah, that shit was nuts. That shit was the best fight of the whole event. And then the next one after that, you had Badu Jack versus some guy that replaced the fighter he was supposed to fight because he was taking steroids and shit. But it was some dude from Venezuela.
Undefeated dude too.
Yeah, but it was his first time in America, so he didn't fight nobody. I guess it's his first time fighting an American, because that boy did not seem ready. He was Badu Jack was hitting him in his body something crazy, and all dude would do is just grab him and hold on to the side so he couldn't get hit in the body in the clinch. And that fool would get hit. Badu Jack, I guess he's known for his body punches, would come in there and just smack dude in his kidney. Oh my God. He knocked him down. He got disqualified because he got the knockdown 3 times rule.
The 3 knockdown rule, yeah. And I mean, but I seen the ending of it. I seen the ending when he knocked him down, and even like dude didn't look like he wanted to get back up.
He didn't even get hit.
Like, even if it wasn't, yeah.
I feel like he missed on that last shot.
Badu went. Down. Yeah, it looked like he missed, and then when dude was going down, he went and hit him again while he was on the meat. That shit was fucking
on the ropes, he punched his ass.
Yeah,
that shit was nuts. Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Wait, if I remember right, didn't somebody in that last Jake Paul fight go out in the stretcher on some weird shit?
Last Jake Paul fight.
Remember one of the prelim?
I didn't get to watch all the prelim fights on that one.
He acted like he got hit in the nuts, and he really didn't. He got hit square in the stomach, and
yeah, you're right. I remember that. Yeah.
And he got disqualified, and he faked it all the way that they took him out on a stretcher and shit.
I remember that. Yeah,
that shit was crazy. That's what that fight kind of reminded me of, kind of leading up to the main event, which was Mayweather versus Logan Paul. That shit was crazy too because the size difference was evident from the beginning. Logan Paul was humongous. Mayweather was hella smaller, but it was cool. I mean, I'll let you describe it since you did see this fight. How did you feel about
Yeah,
the
I
fight?
did see it. My thing is everybody is like going off with this thing saying that Logan Paul won the fight simply because he hung with the quote unquote best boxer, Floyd Mayweather. And it was like, yeah, he hung with the best boxer who's way past his prime, who clearly looked slower, and yet still won the fight completely. Like he got, I think Mayweather threw like 107 punches
Hmm.
and like landed 27 of the motherfuckers or something like that. And the
Yeah,
other dude threw like twice as many and only landed like half of that shit.
13%. 13% of his
Yeah,
punches. Yeah, it was nuts.
yeah. So it's like,
There's no
I
way.
mean,
There's no moral victories in this. Only moral victory is that you made a bunch of
yeah.
money and tricked everybody thinking you were gonna fight this nigga. You didn't. You held
That's
on
what
to him.
well, my thing is everybody's going off the fact that he's a who's only been boxing for 3 years. He's fighting against somebody who was fighting his whole life and was considered the best fighter of his generation and probably best fighter period. But at the same time, he's old. Like he's completely like he's not that fighter anymore. So how and like my thing is like the odds were more against Mayweather than they were for him, even though I
Right.
expected Mayweather to go in there and beat his ass.
Right.
It's like you are like 200 pounds, way bigger than this dude, like 6 foot something, and Mayweather's like what 5'6", 5'7", some short shit. So like by all means, like your power should have hurt him, and you never hurt him once. That whole
Right.
flurry at the end of the first round,
Was
like
ridiculous.
he didn't touch him with one of them. He hit the gloves the whole time. None of
Yeah.
those actually hurt Mayweather
Yeah.
at
That
all.
was pretty
And it's
comical,
like,
actually.
yeah, the best thing he did in there was put all his weight on him, and I mean that right there is enough to exhaust somebody, and he never exhausted Mayweather. I did feel like Mayweather had opportunities that he could have took that he didn't take at all, but at the same time, it could have just been that he's older and
Hmm.
he was like, "Hey, I'm just trying to get my money. I'm not trying to go out here and risk, getting caught with some shit because this dude is like way fucking bigger than me,
Right.
and so I might as well just go ahead and just coast this out and get my millions of dollars off the shit," which he did.
Yeah.
Was it boring? Fuck yeah, it was boring. Would I
Right.
pay for that? Hell the fuck no.
No.
But it is what it is. It's like, hey, I think all it really did was just made other fighters who are actual fighters look at this and like have like a sour taste in their mouth because they're like, this dude who has only fought one so quote unquote professional fight and lost that to another YouTuber, got in the ring with a retired, washed up Mayweather and won $20 million.
Right. That is
You
nuts.
know,
And you got fighters
yeah,
like Francis Ngannou and a lot of the stars in MMA looking at this now like, what the hell's going on? Like, why are we
yeah,
making this
yeah.
kind of money? These guys are making $20 million off fake fights.
Well, that's partially because of the UFC though. You like that's just because of the way MMA is set up. They're never going to be able to make that kind of money because it's like boxing. You have people who will sit there and like litigate your money and what you're going to make. Now, granted, a lot of that money goes and gets split up a lot of different ways, but because you're not working for a boss, you're working for yourself.
Hmm.
You can then go ahead and request a lot more money if you have the basically, if you can project the income, like if you can sit there and be like, look how big of a star I am. Look at my last fights and what they brought in with me alone fighting against nobody. Now, if I fight against this person right here, he's definitely going to help us bring in more fights. They can go ahead and go through all that, negotiate that, and get that money. Now, granted, they have to pay out more people who are in the middle of that, but at the end of the day, they can come home with those like $100 million fights. UFC is just one entity. It's just like a overhead. They do all the negotiating themselves.
Yeah.
So pretty much all they do is tell you, you work for me. I'm gonna pay you $2 million to go in there and damn near get killed by this person, and you gotta just take it. And then they fucked it up. This is what they did that was even worse. I think really fucked it up because old fighters back in the day were able to at least get endorsement deals, so they can go in there wearing Strike Force or Tap Out shit, not Strike Force, but Tap Out gear or different gear and get paid more money on the side for that. And then UFC did some bullshit. What they did was they made it where, oh, now we're just Reebok. So you can't come in with anything else. It's kind of like the NFL did where people were coming in wearing like Beats by Dre's and they told them they couldn't do it. It was like that. And it's like, it's pretty fucked up. Now you're taking away their endorsement deals because it's like a race car track in a way. Race car drivers get all these fucking decals put on. They get paid for having those decals on their cars. The fighters are doing the same thing.
I feel that.
So it's like now, if I was a fighter for real, I would be like, all right, then look at here, Coca-Cola, pay me $100 million, and I will get your logo tattooed on me. They can't say a fucking thing about my
I
tattoos.
feel that.
I'll get a big ass fucking Coca-Cola tattooed on my chest,
I
and
feel
you
it.
just break me off. So yeah,
Yeah,
so
I
what they gonna do?
feel
Make me cover my fucking tattoo up while I fight? Fuck that.
it. I feel it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel where they're coming from, but I think it's partially because of the sport they're in. The UFC, Dana White, and all them. In all reality, that shit's shady. It's like a big ass like thing where, they're pimps. Is the best way I can put it. They pimping the fuck out of the UFC fighters, and that's how boxing was in a way like that, but it's just different little entities and shit that all fought against each other. But then people start realizing that shit, I can be my own boss. I can make my own negotiations.
I feel that.
And the way UFC is set up, they can't do that unless they leave the UFC.
I feel it. I feel
Yeah.
it. Well, hopes to seeing some new shit, man. I'm not against the celebrity boxing, man. It's all about entertainment in the long run, I guess. Some of the boxing purists aren't too happy about what's going on there.
I don't really care the other way. I'm more of I just want to see some real fights. I'd rather see a fight that I'm gonna enjoy the actual fights, like those fights before that you're talking about. I'm gonna go back and watch those fights because they seem like they were enjoyable.
Yeah.
But I'm not really into watching a fight simply because the people are fighting. I'm into watching a fight because of the experience or the skill. Not so if you got like two people who I know, I don't really care about seeing like fucking I don't know Brad Pitt fight against Eddie Murphy or something. Like none of them are fucking known for fighting. They're actors.
Right.
I don't care about that. I'm not gonna pay a bunch of money to see that, but I
Right.
will pay to see Errol Spence fight against Pacquiao. Most definitely,
I feel that.
I'll pay for that shit in a heartbeat. Even though Pacquiao's older, he still got skill.
Yep. I feel it. Let's move on to a little music. I don't know if you know anything really about this album, but The Voice of the Heroes just dropped. I just wanted to give that a quick shout out with Lil Baby and Lil Durk. Yeah, I see you already kind of shaking your head and you don't really know about it.
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah. Just dropped recently. It's a collab album. Pretty good songs on there. They got Meek Mill, Young Thug, Rod Wave, a couple of features on there. But if you guys haven't heard it, go check it out. I know people probably already got it. Some good songs, support good music. Something to ride to the summer. Yeah, some good songs on there. It's a little different.
Well, I never listened to any of either of those guys' songs, but I think I've heard like what's it called, the Little Baby, that's his name.
Yeah, Lil Baby's doing his thing right now. He's really popping.
I've heard
a different kind of trajectory.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I've heard a couple of his I don't know if it was just like maybe some youth Instagram shit where they were playing like a verse of his. I mean, he got bars. I've never heard a song, so I can't really say that if I like the songs. The difference is like I don't listen to the radio, so the only way I'm gonna listen to music is if I actually go and research it myself. So I don't.
Yeah, he has a good catalog, pretty good catalog. The last couple albums are pretty dope. So if you check them out, I think you'll like what you hear. Also, sadly, Lil Durk lost his older brother in a nightclub shooting. There's been a lot of darkness around Lil Durk right now, man. And so just wanted to shout him out, throw some prayers his way, his and his family's way. He already lost his best friend, Young Von. I know he lost a bunch of other people like his cousin and some other stuff to gang violence out there. So just throwing some prayers his way, man. He's supposed to be celebrating the dropping of this #1 album right now, but has to now bury another family member over some street violence, man. Just hoping, praying for Chicago and all that stuff out there, hoping things will get better. But yeah, go listen to the album. Go ahead.
Did his brother die in Chicago? Was it in Chicago he got killed?
I don't know if it was necessarily in Chicago, but
I know. Regardless, they need to do something about that shit. Black people need to stop like feeling like it's just that okay to kill other black people. I don't get that shit. It's
right.
Like, that makes no fucking sense to me.
Yeah.
It's like, you feel like you hate yourself so much that you can go out and kill somebody that looks just like you. I don't fucking get it.
Yeah. I just think, it needs to stop. Hopefully. Just go support the album. Do the best you can to support his family in this time of need. I know you already got a bunch of money, but shit, funerals get expensive, and I know he's been having to do a lot of burying lately, and that's not a good thing. It's very, very, very sad. But yeah, the album's tight. Go bump that. It's gonna be a summer hit. A lot of albums coming soon. I really talked much about music, but one of these next episodes we'll dive a little bit more into the music tip. We talked about J. Cole's album last, but this week's spotlight is on the Voice of the Heroes. Go get that. Moving on swiftly. Let's talk since we're on the music tip. Lil Yachty and Bad Baby starting a dating app, a Jewish dating app called the Locks Club for Jewish people with ridiculously high standards.
Is he Jewish?
I don't know. I'm sure she is though, probably. And he just got a bunch of money.
Who is she?
Bad Baby, the Catch Me Outside.
Oh, I'm thinking it was that freaking Latino artist. Something. What is his name again? Isn't it like Bad Baby or something like that?
Oh, Bad
Baby. Okay, yeah, that guy. That's what I thought it was. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm detached.
It's the Catch Me Outside girl and Lil Yachty. I think Lil Yachty's like 23. I don't know. He started rapping when he was hella young, so he's still kind of young. Bad Baby is probably just 18 though. But they're starting a dating app for Jewish people. I don't really know about these specific, religion, race dating apps. It's kind of, I feel like it's kind of like
people with high standards, like in what way? Like money wise, looks wise, or what are they talking about?
I don't know. It's just gonna probably be an escort service after a while. I don't know. It's just I just don't understand what it means. He's just putting their names on it. They're creating the service. It's like people with ridiculously high standards. You have to pay.
I mean, shit. Most females nowadays have ridiculously high standards, but that's just like a normal thing. So they're just making a dating app that's for Jewish females. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's male and female, but I'm sure it's not. Hopefully they don't. I don't know. Are they gonna say not allow people that are not Jewish to enroll and try to find Jewish love?
Some of those black Israelites in there. No.
Right, I guess. Shit, because Lil Yachty, I don't know if he'll be in.
He might be a black Israelite.
You never. I feel like I wouldn't expect him to be involved in something that would exclude black people from being involved. So.
Unless there's a lot of money in it. If there's a lot of money in it, he might as well.
He actually, Lil Yachty just came out with a fucking nail polish.
Hey, do what you gotta do.
Right. It's called Concrete. You put it's like a marker, like a click marker, and you just rub it on your nails, and it's like a quick drying, but he's trying to promote nail polish.
Is it for men?
For men.
Because I be seeing like cats, dudes wearing fingernail polish. I don't understand what that shit is. Like, it's one dude I follow that lift weights. His name is Bradley Martin or some shit. I be noticing like in his videos sometimes he'll be having like his fingernails painted, but they'll be just like black or purple or some weird color. But it just looks weird as fuck to see a buff ass dude with painted fingernails. I don't know.
Yeah. And he's
teach his own.
Exactly, to each his own. I guess there's a market for male fingernail painting.
Maybe.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. But yeah, I guess Lil Yachty has been making, sitting on some money, and he just has some investment opportunities, and he's just trying to throw everything out there. He has the dating app coming called The Locks. If you are a Jewish single with ridiculously high standards, look out for that. And we got the what else we got that just say he's coming out with? Oh, the fingernail polish. If you are a male that's interested in painting your fingernails, it's called Concrete. Go out there and get that thing. Do your thing, Lil Yachty. Next on the docket, talking about big ballers, let's talk about a little bit of Jeff Bezos. So Amazon just acquired MGM Studios for $8.45 billion, which is he's acquiring the IPs of James Bond, Tomb Raider, Rocky, Handmaid's Tale, Fargo. He can do anything he wants with those, change them into TV shows, do anything with those. And also he's funding $465 million for them to make Amazon to make a Lord of the Rings TV show. So it's going to be one of the most expensive shows ever made, and probably one of the most expensive things on Amazon, the video side ever funded. So what do you think about that? What do you think can come of that?
I don't know. I mean, I like The Hobbit more. I never really was a big fan of Lord of the Rings, but I mean, with what happened with Game of Thrones, who knows? That shit might just another way for that man to become more rich. I mean, hey, I don't know the dude. I just know that motherfucker rich as fuck, and he don't be treating his Amazon employees that great. That's all I know. I'll
Yeah,
be watching that shit with them doing their protests and how difficult it is working in those factories. I couldn't do that shit. Could
yeah,
not.
it's pretty tough. It's pretty tough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to see if they can try to like make a James Bond TV show, do some spin-offs, do a Rocky TV show. That'd be kind of dope. Fargo, I've always liked Fargo, so Fargo is pretty sick. Maybe to get all the get all the shows on Amazon. That'll be sick. To
I
have them
think the
all in
only
one
one,
place.
that I care about would be James Bond. James Bond's always been. I've like been a super fan of it, but I've always been interested in that. So let's
Right.
see what they do with that. Yeah, I would like that.
Right. And I'm also interested in Tomb Raider too, what they can do with that. I really like back in the day
Yeah,
more when
true.
Angelina Jolie was Tomb Raider. So if they can
Yeah,
reboot
true
that
that.
in a good way, they came out with one recently, but I didn't really like it that much. So maybe if they
I
came
don't
out
even
with
remember it. I don't remember it. I don't know if I watched that shit.
yeah,
Damn.
there is a new one, but it wasn't really that good in my humble opinion. But hopefully when they reboot it, once it gets on Amazon, they can do something with it because The Boys was good. They have some good original content. So
They do. They do.
yeah, so I'm excited to see that. You know what I'm saying? And lastly, let's go into it. The question of the day. I teased a Marvel question. I teased a family debate, a family question. We're gonna start doing these question of the day things, man. Towards the end, I'm gonna try to start shouting out questions. A deep thing for you guys. Usually gonna be kind of Marvel, kind of superhero, something kind of related, but just to make y'all think. So we talked about how you wait for the New Mutants, how you're waiting for the reboot of X-Men, how Wolverine was one of your favorite characters. Um,
Is.
oh, okay, yeah, okay, is. But I'm just saying was because we haven't seen him in a while, and we need to
Yeah.
find a new character, basically.
A new actor to play the character. Yeah.
Exactly. We need to find a new actor to play the character. So I'm going to pose this question here to everybody out there in the Best of Bias world, to you as well, Ariel. If you were to pick a person to play Wolverine in the new MCU, who would that be and
So I
why?
can only pick one. I can't like have like a list of
No,
people who
you can have a list. Let's get a top three.
top three. Well, top three, and I'm going off of actors who currently aren't playing any major roles in any superhero movies. Because if I was excluding that, then I would have Tom Hardy who plays Venom, because I think he would be an excellent Wolverine for what Wolverine was originally supposed to be, a short, buff, rugged looking dude. He would have been perfect for that, but he's playing Venom already.
Right.
But since we're gonna go ahead and try and do the Clint Eastwood-esque looking Wolverine, my first pick would have been Scott Eastwood, actually, Clint Eastwood's son, because
Right.
he looks so much like his dad. And Wolverine, after they recreated him again, he back in the, I don't think it was the 70s or 80s, something like that, or 60s, whatever. When they recreated him, they kind of modeled him after Clint Eastwood. So it would be dope to have him. That's even why if you look at Hugh Jackman, he looked like Clint Eastwood, which is why they got him to play that role. But the problem is I don't know what Scott Eastwood can do as an actor,
Right. You
because
don't know his range.
I've only seen him in a few movies, and a couple of them are low budget, and he was not very talkative in those movies. And
Right.
but that would be like as far as what I would like to see. If I'm sure he can get the acting chops up to where he can play the role, and maybe he can come out of nowhere with some good shit. But if you want to go with acting wise, I would have to say number two would have to be I don't know this cat's name, but I do know he played in that show, Sons of Anarchy. I
Yep,
think he was like
that's
the
my
main
number.
character on
Yep,
Sons of
that's my
Anarchy.
guy. His name is Charlie Hunnam.
Yes, yeah. So I think that he's a little older, but as far as like, I think that he's good enough at acting. I see him in a few things acting, and I think he's a really good actor. He has
He's not
the
that old.
look
You
for.
wanted Wolverine to start young?
Yeah, because you want him to last longer in the
Okay,
MCU.
okay.
They're trying to get a lot of younger guys inside of there, and Wolverine is known for not, aging
Agent,
very
yeah.
fast. So it's better yeah, you want to get somebody who's younger.
He's old young.
But other than he's like my age or a little older than me, I think.
Yeah, he can be,
Uh,
that's a good, like, what? You can get like 10 years out of it.
Yeah, about 10 years. Yeah, you're right. But I mean, MCU movies take forever to come out. Like that means
Like
he'll probably
two.
only get
Yeah.
like two or three movies. So,
Yeah. I feel it.
um, but acting wise, he definitely can do it, and looks wise, he definitely has that.
Definitely.
And then the last one would be, and I cannot remember this guy's name either, but he played fuck. The movie where he was a secret, he was like an agent. He was like a secret agent. I can't remember the fuck it was.
That was
And he was
another one
like
for me too. Taron Egerton.
is that his name Egerton? The guy, what he
Yeah.
playing again? I know he
He
played
played the Kingsman.
Kingsman and Rocket Man also. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think he would be good because I think he's like to me. I feel like he's a hella good actor. I know they're going like to Europe with all these fucking actors, but I mean, apparently the motherfuckers got the acting chops for it, and he can definitely do a U.S. accent or a Canadian accent, whatever. It's all the same kind of.
Right.
But he's young enough. He can get in shape, and I mean, I'm sure he can grow the facial hairs and shit like that. I think he's blonde though. They might have to dye his hair to like a browner color because he looks. Out in my head, I'm saying it was a blonde kid. I don't know, but I think he would be a pretty good pick for it. Those would be like my top three. It'd be only because Tom Hardy. He would be my number one. Tom Hardy. He would be perfect for the role, but of course he's Venom. So
Right.
yeah.
And it's crazy because you had a couple that I had on my list too. My number one was Taron Egerton from Kingsman, just because he was young, could start it off pretty good young there. And then I got John Bernthal from Punisher. He's actually playing the Punisher though, so that kind of does exclude him.
I wouldn't want him as well. You know what? I take that back. Now that I'm thinking of his head, he's kind of small. Wolverine's small.
Right.
Yeah,
And his
that's a
look
good.
and attitude, he can I think he can pull it off. He probably wouldn't be everybody's favorite.
except for I don't think he's the greatest actor though, because he does these things when he acts. I think he's a good actor, but he's not the greatest for that. He always does the same fucking little head twitch and shit when he's acting, and it's like it annoys me.
Maybe
but he's still a good actor. Don't get me wrong.
Wolverine's kind of like sniffing, smelling type shit. You know what I'm saying? You can do it with the twitch in the head. Because, like, I mean, how many lines do you really need Wolverine to have? Just to yell a lot, which he does in his action shit. And he just fucking, he's a good action guy.
I think he can do. I think he'd be good. He has to look for it 100%. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Now.
Or the
guy about it, but yeah.
Or the guy from the new what's the fucking movies? The new Purge movies. I forgot his name. He was also in the Captain America, the Winter Soldier, and he was the Hydra agent. He started off as a good
Oh, you mean Crossbone? That's Chris said the same thing. He played Crossbone already.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to go there, like shit, the guy who played in Ragnarok, Thor Ragnarok, who was the one who took over Idris Elba's spot. What was that guy's name?
Oh yeah, he was in the boy. He was in the boys, right?
The boy, that guy. He would be the perfect fucking Wolverine, but I mean, he's already been in, so you can't use him. And he's older too. But I mean, looks wise, he would be fucking my ideal person. But because he's so much older and he's already played in the MCU, I kind of threw him out the drawing. So.
No, yeah, I feel that. But yeah, we're kind of looking around the same people. And then my last one, which was just funny, Keanu Reeves. Just as another old Logan, put him in there, just have him killing hella folks.
I don't think he has the acting chops for that.
The acting chops, I feel it.
Because he's one of those actors to me who plays the same character, whatever role. He's like a Denzel. But Denzel's a good actor, but he's gotten to the point where he just plays Denzel as a fucking cop or as a killer, or he's Denzel, and that's how Keanu is. Keanu is just Keanu as a killer, as a martial artist, as a samurai. He's just Keanu. He doesn't like change his personality.
I feel it.
So it's like what is it? It's the Ice Cube and the Ice T thing. No matter what they're in, they're just Ice T or Ice Cube as a cop, as a stepdad, as whatever, you know.
Yeah, I feel it.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
I would have liked. I would like it. My bad. Go ahead. I would like to see Keanu Reeves as Moon Knight.
No, really? Yeah, that'd be sick because he can just be hella weird and have different personalities. That would actually be perfect for him. But they need to bring Keanu in the MCU, do something before he gets too old and, kind of fades away.
Yeah.
But yeah, best of Bias family. Hope you guys debated out there and, had some good options too. Send them in to the best of Bias. You know where to find us at because we need your suggestions too. You know what? And do you have any more topics you want to throw at us? Anything you wanted to bring up before we get up out of here? We didn't talk about. Excuse me. Let's bring up. More about that mass shooting in Miami. We didn't mention that. We didn't touch on that.
I don't know if they ever catch the guys. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I think it was
I've seen the video. That shit looks fucked up, but
it was like a drive-by that it was in a club in Miami. They shot into the crowd and just shot a bunch of people that were actually at the event, and they're actually looking for some people that are in the party, but they just sprayed the whole club up or whatever.
Which is a fucking dickhead thing to do. And then if you see like in one of the camera angles, you see a car in the back that starts shooting back at them. That's just why they got up and ran so quick.
That's
Did you see that?
No, I didn't see the video.
That just shows you like when you have like mass shootings in places like Florida, Texas, or somewhere where people have guns, where people are allowed to walk around with guns, you see like even though it still happens, there's nowhere near as many casualties.
I feel like because they know how to shoot it.
Just because they got guns.
Oh yeah, because everybody.
It's like you got one. Yeah, you start shooting like over here in California. Somebody did that shit like they did at the fucking VTA up in San Jose. Nobody has a gun there, so you can pretty much shoot until the cops get there. But if you're in some place like Texas or like Florida or something like that, you pretty much got to just kill as many people as you can before somebody pulls out a gun and smokes your ass, because that's what's going to happen, because somebody there has a gun.
Right. The laws are a little more lax on that side. Yeah.
Which is why it doesn't happen like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel that. That's nuts, though. My condolences to all the families out there. That's another nut situation that's happening this year. We thought we left it all in 2020, but mass shootings and all this crazy shit is, these gun. I don't know. I feel like a lot of the media is kind of pushing an agenda. Whatever they want to cancel and get rid of at the time is what we're seeing more of. I don't know if it's happening more at an alarming rate or if it's always happened and we just didn't have the media pointing at it as much. But I don't know. It's gun control. I don't know which side I lean on. But it's like, fuck, maybe if there was more gun control, more of the shit wouldn't be happening, man. But maybe it would. I really don't know. I don't really know all the statistics, but again, my condolences to all the families and all the people that were lost in these shootings, whether it were the VTA over there in San Jose, closer to home here, actually in the Bay Area, and all those families over there in Florida as well. It's very sad time. I would hate to end the podcast on that sad note. Do you got any brighter news we can end on? Anything I forgot? Maybe I can go back and mention. What about Sweet Tooth? Let's talk about Sweet Tooth. Let's end on a bright note.
Yeah. Cute kid.
Cute kid. Netflix new show came out June 4th, the same day as The Voice and The Hero, Lil Baby and Lil Durk's album. Go check it out. The show called Sweet Tooth. It was a comic book adaptation. And it's been interesting to me. It's about, I guess the world got a sickness, and people started dying from this crazy ass sickness. But at the same time, people started dying. Hybrids started becoming born. Hybrid babies that are mixed with animals and kids. And people started freaking out and thinking the hybrids were causing the sickness that everybody was dying from. So basically, the world's kind of post-apocalyptic. People are hunting the hybrids, and the hybrids are little cute little kids, and they deserve to live. And they're not really spreading the disease, but everybody's kind of freaked out. And we're going about the life of this little hybrid kid called Sweet Tooth, who is a half deer, half kid. And and he's going through shit. Basically, spoiler alert for the first episode if you haven't seen it. The guy, you know how it goes in these shows. If you've seen Hannah, if you've seen a lot more of these shows, the dad tries to protect the kid. The kid has to be hidden. If the kid is seen, danger could happen. Yeah, that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? And the dad ends up getting hurt and getting killed, and then the kid's all on his own. And then he meets this big ex-football player. And the season, you go throughout the lives of this big football player and this little hybrid half deer kid called Sweet Tooth. And we just see.
Why do they call him Sweet Tooth?
Just because he drinks syrup. Watch it to find out. He drinks syrup and eats hella candy and shit. And that's what he just fucking lives off of. and basically the big ex-football player saved him from the people that are trying to catch him. So he's trying to find his mom. So the football player's taking him there, and we get to see all the adventures as they go through. Yeah, check it out, man. It's a full. They dropped the whole season.
I'm probably gonna go watch it. I got how many episodes? Because I got, like I told you, I watched the first episode and I accidentally watched whatever episode you were on.
I think there might be at least like eight to 10 episodes. So they dropped the whole season. It's not episode by episode, so I think you'd be good on that. You just go check it out. Maybe we can review it after. But tomorrow we have to start our reviews anyways for Loki. So we have plenty shit coming up. Plenty more shit to review. So I don't want to put too much on your plate. You know what I'm saying? But we're at the end of the episode on a very brighter note. We don't want to end on a bad note. So I like to tell them where you can find me at, find you at. You already know where to find him at, but you know where to find me at too. But I'm gonna tell you anyway, like I always do. SAC_Lydell on the Instagram. If you want to find the Instagram for this podcast, it's Best of Bias. Best of Bias. It's the Best of Bias on Instagram, and on YouTube, it's the Best of Bias. Also, where you can find crazy videos for all the podcasts, man, visuals, all the crazy shit we talked about, all the topics, just right here on your screen, man. Brought to you by the man to your left, aka you can thank him for all the crazy visuals you see here. It's been amazing. He's done an amazing job. So watch them things, like and subscribe on YouTube. Also, Patrick_Lydell on the Snapchat if you want to see me there. I'll post on all these platforms about the updates and everything coming for the Best of Bias podcast. And there's plenty of content coming. Like I said, Loki's coming up. We still got Anime Kumite. We still got plenty more of those. We already did 2 Anime Kumites. We're getting a lot of fan response, and we're still going to do Doctor Strange versus King. Me versus Deshaun, but in the meantime, maybe we can get one started for me and you, so we can try to get one out of the way there. Music coming. First interview from Pretty Ugly on this podcast. He's dropping an EP soon, aka and Pretty Ugly. What do you guys calling? What do you call yourselves again?
Peacefully Challenged.
Peacefully Challenged, PC. EP dropping soon. We're going to have him here for an exclusive interview and maybe some listening. Who knows? But it's the Best of Bias podcast. Thank everybody for being here. Go watch the playoff. Go Nuggets. Jokic is the MVP. Let's get it. Who's playing right now? The Clippers and the Jazz are playing right now. So if you're not watching it right now, hope both of them lose. Hopes to tie. But yeah, you got anything to say to the people? I just talked a lot, just went through a bunch. You got anything to say to the people before we get up out of here, aka?
Nah, stay blessed. Even though, shit is fucked up. Stay blessed, I guess.
Stay blessed, stay safe. Everybody, if you're going out, be safe. Enjoy the summer because it's gonna get real hot real soon. Let's talk about degrees and weather depending on where you at. But the world is opening again, so everybody be safe. It's the Best of Bias podcast. Where my theme song at? Yeah.
It's the best of Bias. You need the earful, you should try us. From pop culture to the movies to unite us. It's the best of Bias. Your Best of Bias. It's the Best of Bias.
You are now listening to the Best of Bias podcast with Lydell Dinero